I have been waiting all last 24 hours for this day. What is going on, everyone? Happy Monday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single day, we're coming at you live from our studio in Las Vegas. We have a packed show for you guys today.
What was that?
It's just getting over sickness, so my lung capacity is not fully there yet. I still got some mucus on it. But anyways, we're moving forward. We got some exciting stuff to talk about today. We're talking Credit Suisse, the banking crisis, what's going on with Bitcoin. Also, a new marketing team has emerged for Bitcoin. Who are they? We'll talk about that. We have our video from Forrest talking about altcoin season. When are alts going to start pumping? Also, one of our favorite guests, Crypto Lifer, will be joining us in T-minus 25 minutes to go over charts, altcoins, all the fun stuff. But first, here's your other co-host, Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. What a week we got coming up. If it's your first time checking us out, we do entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take old, boring, and stale information, repackage it up in a fun, sexy way with tons of GIFs and memes and random tweets that have nothing to do with crypto.
I want to start there.
Okay.
I want to start right where you said.
Sure you do.
So, Magic the Gathering, right? Pretty big. I've never played it, but it's pretty big, right?
Yeah, I mean,
was it Mount Gox?
I don't know if it's as big. Here's the thing. I don't know if it's as big as it used to be, for the simple fact that I don't play it anymore. But back in the day, in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was pretty big. It had a pretty big following. Now I'm assuming it's fallen off, but it could have went to the digital age because I know people are playing that. And there's a big Magic convention and draws a big crowd here in Las Vegas. So.
And you said digital. Well, Magic the Gathering is going digital in terms of this. My private Magic the Gathering dealer groups are looking to trade their rare alpha Black Lotuses for Bitcoin. Now, what is a Black Lotus, Robin?
It is actually the rarest card. If you can get it a first edition Black Lotus, at the time in 2000, like early 2000s, late 90s, it was valued at over $500 or $1,000. I would assume due to inflation and obviously the rarity is probably way up. What's a Black Lotus go for nowadays?
No idea.
You know what? I'm gonna look that up.
I have no idea. But now people are willing to exchange it for, instead of dollars, Bitcoin. And this is a tweet from Nathaniel Whitmore at NLW. We are so back. Is this the beginning of the bull market, Robin? When Magic the Gathering wants Bitcoin instead of dollar?
Sure.
Yes. I did mention Bitcoin has a new marketing team. Who do you think that is, Rob?
The first Black Lotus sells for $87,000.
That's like 3 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Bitcoin, baby.
Yeah, but what was your question? Sorry. I saw dollar signs.
Bitcoin has a new marketing team. Who do you think is 4 people? Who like what would you guess?
Bitcoin has a new marketing team?
Yeah.
Like the Bitcoin that doesn't have a company?
Correct.
Okay, sure. Sailor. I'll go with Max Kaiser. And
who do you got? And chat, who do you guys think is part of this new Bitcoin marketing team? It's probably not anyone you would guess, but here they are. You guys ready?
Sure.
One, Mashinsky. No.
First up, we have Christine Lagarde, the chairperson of the European Central Bank, followed by Augustine Carstens, the general manager of the Bank of International Settlements.
I thought you were going to say like Krispy Kreme.
No. Followed by the Honorable Jerome H. I think his middle name is Harold Powell. And finally, Janet, I ain't yelling. So this is pretty funny. This is from Rely_app. And, I know this is meant as a joke, but isn't this so true? Is what these head figures that these central banks are doing is they're essentially marketing Bitcoin for us because their system is failing while Bitcoin is thriving, right? What do you think?
I think people are calling into question the monetary system from the government, right? That's essentially what it is. And what is fiat, right? Fiat, at least in the form that the government offers, is a faith in the government issued money, right? That's it. Like you have full faith in the government backing of the fiat.
Mm.
Now people are calling into question the government all the time.
Yeah.
They don't believe the balloons are what they are. They think they're either UFOs or some other kind of evil plot. Anyways, we've seen over and over again that civilization is questioning the people that are running governments. And I think they're also calling into question the monetary system. They're seeing firsthand the effects of inflation, and inflations is essentially just a byproduct of what's going on in government, right?
Yeah.
They printed the money.
They control.
Now there's more money in the circulation. Your money's worth less money, or you have less purchasing power with your money. And people are looking at what's happening now. Like, hey, they are injecting tons of capital. People that have no financial interest other than, what they just kind of randomly see in the news are coming up to me and asking about what's going on with the printing and the banking situation. And, people are out here. They're noticing, man. This isn't just people on Wall Street and traditional finance saying, hey, the monetary policies are messed up. You have an average citizen saying, hey, what is going on there in the government? And they're demanding answers. We're seeing that the Fed is routinely having to go in front of the Senate, Congress, answer questions. It is a hot topic everywhere. It's the water cooler talk, right?
Sometimes their questions have answers attached to them.
And then the biggest question, hey, what's going on with the monetary policy? And if you question its stability, what answers pop up? Crypto, Bitcoin. Isn't affected by politics. Now, perhaps the short-term price effect is affected by politics. Perhaps the Fed saying, I'm going to raise rates here or there, or a country saying, hey, we're going to ban mining, whatever it is. It might have short-term ramifications, but it doesn't change the fundamental code.
Well, actually, I'm happy you brought that up, Robin, because Europe is trying to change the fundamental code of smart contracts, and it's kind of scary. It's extremely scary. We're going to talk about that. Also, something kind of funny, I guess. Belgium to require all crypto ads to say the following, quote, the only guarantee in crypto is risk. This is laughable to me. We know, in the world of financial advisors, the only thing they're allowed to label risk-free is, in the US at least, is securities, treasury securities, right? Bonds, notes, bills. But apparently in Belgium now, if you want to run a crypto ad, you have to say the only guarantee in crypto is risk. Are they doing that for penny stocks? Are they doing that for traditional stocks? Are they doing that for mutual funds? Are they doing that for all the other securities that are traded on the open market? Probably not. And so we're in a situation, guys, where Mark Yusko said this, and I agree. They're in the we're going to fight you stage, right? They're so irritated that they cannot just outright ban cryptocurrency, right? China tried to do that, and guess what? We found that 20% of the hash power still comes from China. Still comes now, whether you want to say part of that's the government or not, you'd go to ban it, and 20% of the hash power in the world still comes from that country that tried to ban it. You cannot ban Bitcoin and crypto unless you ban the internet, which if that happens, then we have bigger issues. But it scares the living crap out of governments and these government officials and these central bank executives because it's a direct, I don't want to say threat, but it's a direct competitor to their monetary system. And if the jig is up, which is starting to be up, then people are going to look for an alternative. And what is that alternative? That alternative is Bitcoin. Let's start off with how we start off every single Monday, with what can we expect as far as the happenings this week. So this is from TradingView, the economic calendar. Obviously, guys, the big one is going to be Wednesday, FOMC meeting. The rate hike, will we get 25? Will we get 50? Will we get a pause? Will we get a rate cut?
And I'd like to also pause that thought. to give a shout out to Redman. He gave a $5 super chat right here on the subject. He said, should he wait after the Fed meeting to DCA this week?
Isn't the point of DCA not waiting?
Yeah, don't worry about exogenous factors when you're DCAing.
Yeah.
Because especially with this meeting, if there's any meeting that you should not, you should follow.
Yeah.
This one should be the one because there's so much uncertainty.
Yeah.
We don't know what direction they're going to
The
go.
CME has flipped like 8 times.
Yeah. So if they were to say raise by 0.25, you're probably going to get a pullback in the markets. If they pause, you're going to get a rally in the markets. If he does one or the other and then comes into the press conference and drops some nuke bomb on his thoughts on the banking and it might be concerning, we don't know. So be prepared for extreme volatility. And what is the biggest remedy to extreme volatility when it comes to investing? DCA. Because you can't predict where the market's going to go.
That's the whole point of DCA. Not trying to catch the tops or bottoms, but just kind of leveling out your costs.
So if you're buying on a Tuesday, just stay on track.
I like what Redman said at the end. He said, I welcome all advice and I hold no one accountable but myself. That's how it should be, right? If I tell you to go put 10 grand in this stupid meme coin.
Yeah, but that's not how it is.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, we all make decisions with our own money.
And ideally, you would like people to hold themselves accountable. However, it is common. I'll just say the majority of people never want to blame themselves. They always want to blame others. That's why I always stand in the camp like, hey, don't run around complaining because most of the complaining should be done inward. You should complain about your productivity and not so much, hey, it's somebody else's fault, because at the end of the day, the buck stops with you.
Very good point, Robin. Also this week, we have of course, the Fed press conference. By the way, our FOMC special on Wednesday, we're going to have our friends Magic and Caleb joining us. Caleb DM'd me and said, I'm bringing some heat this time. So I can't wait to see what kind of stuff he has to show. I can't wait to see what kind of stuff Magic has to show. It's going to be the most important FOMC meeting, so you do not want to miss that. Also, on the 24th, which is in 4 days on Thursday, durable goods orders month over month, that's coming out. And then next week, the rest is next week. Bitcoin had one of its best weeks ever on record last week, up 26.5% in 1 week. I believe that is the third largest weekly move by Bitcoin in its history since 2013. And is it coincidence that week is also the week that banks started collapsing? I think not, my friends. We are seeing a narrative shift. And I talked about this 6 months ago in a video. You can go look it up. It's called Recession Will Be the Greatest Thing to Happen to Bitcoin. The narrative switch is going to happen sooner than I think a lot of people believe. And I think we're seeing the beginnings of it now. And of course, we did do a poll. Make sure you guys go cast your vote. Will Bitcoin hit $1 million in 90 days? Yes, no, and what you're talking about, Willis. So make sure to cast your vote. We'll close out here in a second. But I want to talk about Credit Suisse here. Then we'll get into our fourth video. Then we'll bring on our friend Crypto Lifer. So this is kind of funny. In 2017, Credit Suisse CEO says Bitcoin at 7,000 is the very definition of a bubble. And in 2023, Bitcoin is at 28K while his bank completely fell on its face. Part of me wants to rejoice, but I'm just like, I know a lot of people lost a lot of money in Credit Suisse. Actually, no, the people that lost money.
Yeah, the people that lost money in Credit Suisse, the bondholders and shareholders of Credit Suisse that lost a lot of money, they will be okay. Oh, I will say that with full faith. You will be okay.
And then we had Janet Yellen.
If you are invested in a private bank in Switzerland, I'm pretty sure you're not living paycheck to paycheck.
Very true. It's from Wall Street Silver. In June of 2017, Miss Janet Yellen said this: I don't believe we'll see another financial crisis in our lifetime. I think we're seeing all this, right? We're seeing all these executives and these high-ranking officials and regulators saying things. Inflation is transitory. The economy is great. We're not going to see another financial crisis. The banking system is good. Credit Suisse just passed their stress test 9 months ago. with flying colors, they said. And now everything is unfolding and unraveling before our eyes. So it's twofold. Part of it is what we're seeing visually with what's going on in the traditional financial system. And the second thing is we are losing trust in our governments. Not to say we weren't already losing trust, but we're losing trust more rapidly because of stuff like this. Because these people who are supposed to know what, why, when, where, because that is literally their job at the highest level. They keep coming out and saying stuff like this. They keep coming out and saying inflation is transitory. They keep coming out and saying the banking system is great. And what happens? It does the complete opposite. So now we understand we can't trust them. And so in the same breath that we can't trust them from saying there's not going to be another banking collapse, when they come out and say crypto is bad, Bitcoin is bad, we don't trust them there either.
Right.
I think that's what
That's right.
That's right, babe. I think that's what we're seeing.
And your boo thing's sad.
Oh, Jenny. Oh, Jenny Yelly. Big Swole dropped a $4.99 super chat. Big Swole, we met him on Friday. He was in studio. Super cool dude. Is stationed at Nellis Air Force Base, serves our military. So to you, Big Swole, thank you for your service, my friend. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you. I said, if Bitcoin hits 1 million in 90 days, what does that mean for the mutual funds? Price will go up, but you don't own Bitcoin and then you get paid USD when sold. Thoughts? I think, the people that are saying if Bitcoin hits 1 million in 90 days, that money's coming from somewhere. And if that money's leaving the banking system and traditional system and coming into Bitcoin, then that thing has probably collapsed.
Yeah. I do want to take a quick moment to, first of all, acknowledge the, did you give his shout out for his super chat?
Big Swole?
Yeah.
I just did right now.
Okay.
Literally.
I know you brought him up. All right. So if you are new here, I want to give you a shout out.
Thank you.
I want to say hola to you, but say hello so that way we can drop an hola back at you. Some of the new people we got here, we have Encrypt Yip Did, we got Bong Ray, and then we got SB Olive, Loki Crocker, Croker, something. Anyways, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, let's get the likes up. Where the likes at? Have you liked the video? If you're not like the video, what's wrong with you? Thank you.
All right. Next, I want to show our video from our friend Forrest. So Bitcoin dominance is over 46%. I was under the assumption, this was months ago, I said, I don't think Bitcoin's dominance will ever get over 50%. I'm starting to question myself as new information has come about, as the banks have collapsed. Will Bitcoin get to 50%? And what does that mean for the altcoins? Are we going to see an altcoin season? Well, guess what? Our man Forrest has done a 5-minute video on whether altcoin season is coming and what to expect. And we're going to watch that. Then we're going to bring in our guests and we're going to discuss and get into the charts. So here we go.
All right, so are we going to get an altcoin run? Are we going to get an altcoin rotation? Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance, altcoin market cap, and Bitcoin's price. See if we can put the puzzle together, as well as take a look at a couple of upcoming catalysts that could cause an alt run. All right, so historically, when Bitcoin dominance falls, that just means that there is an alt season. Altcoin dominance is rising. Right now, we are seeing Bitcoin dominance go up. Now, historically, when you see Bitcoin dominance rise in line with Bitcoin's price rising, it's usually followed by an altcoin run, right? Bitcoin's price going up usually means there's some stability in the crypto market. People feel comfortable going out further on the risk curve. They feel like altcoins are unlikely to spill off downwards if Bitcoin is going upwards. So they feel more comfortable speculating, and that leads to an alt season where Bitcoin gives up some dominance. Now, the counter argument to getting an alt season here is that last market cycle, we saw Bitcoin dominance continue to rise in a strong trend upwards through the bear market, but also through the bear market rally. We even though crypto and Bitcoin price was going up, we saw Bitcoin continue to eat up dominance. Now, I'm of the opinion that we will very likely see an alt season as long as Bitcoin's price remains in an uptrend. And the reason being, and the reason I'm not too worried about what happened last cycle with alts is that alts are very different right now. You have a much richer, more vibrant ecosystem and more use cases and a lot less vaporware. Now, a lot of alts are terrible. A lot of alts are probably still overvalued to some degree. But in the last market cycle in 2018 and 2019, guys, you had straight up vaporware. You didn't even have decentralized applications on top of Ethereum yet. So you just had a ton of vaporware, and alts were not nearly in as strong of a position as they are today. So we're starting to see that Bitcoin price rise, altcoin market cap rise. The question is, which one starts rising faster, right? Which is ultimately going to dictate which direction Bitcoin dominance moves in. If we get an alt season, right, Bitcoin dominance would be moving back down to the bottom of this range. I'm of the opinion that this is a long period of bear market consolidation, followed by continuation of altcoins continuing to take up more dominance. If we look at the long term here, the long-term view, we see we've got Ethereum dominance on the bottom, which is not altcoin dominance, but a strong indicator of altcoin dominance as Ethereum is the largest altcoin. But we see a trend over time of Bitcoin dominance just moving downwards over time, right? You do not want to fight a trend, especially a long-term trend. Now, a lot of people may be thinking, well, couldn't Bitcoin just, return to this trend line? Sure, maybe Bitcoin dominance could return to that trend line, but take a look at the previous trend, right? You could have said that last market cycle and we never actually returned fully to the trend line, right? You have to understand that Bitcoin is outnumbered. It is outnumbered. While it is still number one at this moment in time, it's outnumbered by a lot of competing use cases, a lot of competing altcoins, and there's more every single day. We have Arbitrum launching, right? And Arbitrum is set to launch at probably a minimum of $5 to $10 billion fully diluted valuation. We're seeing some estimates, legitimate estimates backed by analysis, saying it could go as high as $10 to $15. Now, I'm not in that camp. I think $1 to $2 is where I'm at for Arbitrum, but that's launching in 3 days, and that is going to take a lot of market share, a lot of dominance away from Bitcoin. It's going to add, this is an altcoin that's going to be launching at a very high valuation. That is going to push Bitcoin dominance down a little bit in the immediate term. You also have Ethereum that has been underperforming Bitcoin for the last several weeks of this rally. And a large part of that, in my opinion, is this overhang of people being a little bit fearful that people are going to sell their Ethereum once the Shanghai hard fork, I don't know what this video is, but the Ethereum Shanghai hard fork is now scheduled for April 12th. That's 3 weeks away, guys. In 3 weeks, I expect the staking ratio for Ethereum to start climbing dramatically, and Ethereum could potentially have a supply squeeze. So I think we're 10 to 20, maybe 30 days away from altcoins taking back a significant amount of market share, if not here in the shorter term with this Arbitrum launch. So that is my thesis. Of course, if Bitcoin ruins things and starts moving back downwards, then we'll probably have to hold off on alts for right now. But as long as Bitcoin is strong, we have, in my opinion, license to speculate on some good, solid altcoins. Hope you enjoyed this video.
All right. Before we discuss, I would like to bring on our guest, Crypto Lifer, and then we can all three discuss together. So, Rocco, please patch in my friend. Crypto Lifer!
What's up, guys?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up? May God bless you both, man. Thank you so
Bless
much
you
for
too,
having
man.
me.
What the hell took you
This
so
is
long to come
great.
back on the show, man? We miss you.
Yeah.
It just you don't want to overextend your welcome. I mean, I'll come on every week if you want. You guys are rocking it. You're having a good time. I've been working my butt off.
Don't
you guys have
test
been working your
us.
butt off.
Don't threaten me
that was
with
a-
a good time.
Don't test
Hey.
us, because
Hey.
man, we love that
never
fire
been a
energy.
group
Where's
that
that
would
fire
take it.
energy at, man? Let me hear you
Oh, it's
like
coming,
yell or
dude.
scream or give some one of those like badass motivational speeches you always do. What's up?
Get up every morning and wake. I'm a little under the weather today. It's weird. I just had I woke up kind of with that scratchy throat. I feel
Ooh,
better today, but I'm just.
You
Listen,
know,
take some
am I-
zinc, bro. Take
I
some zinc.
remember
It's freezing
when
cold
you
here in Boston.
when you came
You
to
guys
the
get to waltz
studio.
around.
When you came to the studio when you were here in Vegas, I remember you were doing your show here, and you were recording, and we were all outside in the common area, and we could just hear you yelling. You're like, "Ah!" And we're like, what's going on in there, bro? Well, this dude is amped. Yeah, like, let's go.
Sam's the kind of guy when if you're having a down day and you're around this dude, you can't help but to smile. So, Crypto Lifer, thank you so much for joining us, guys. You watching? If you're not familiar with who this is, I don't know where you've been on YouTube, but this is Sam Price, aka Crypto Lifer. He does a live show every single day where he breaks down charts, and just an amazing person. Lifer, we love you. Thank you so much. We also had a $50 super chat from Billy, and we get this request almost every time you come on. This whole read it in the announcer voice, a swing, drive, deep left, way back. I'll tell you, man. I'm pretty good at doing like voice impersonations. This is one I can't even come close to. So yeah.
A swing and drive, deep left. Wait, come back on. Sammy coming handy with a powerful drive. All the way to the upside.
Love it, man. Love it. Lifer.
1975. No, just
Dude, okay, all right. Thank you again for coming on the show. Now let's get into this video we just showed from our friend Forrest.
He's
talking
awesome,
about altcoin season, right?
Isn't he the best? He
What's
is
up?
a gem. He's a gem, man.
Forrest is a
you have to
complete
understand
gem.
it. Anyone that nerds out like we do for the people and just break things down, because people forget, like, and not to be morbid, but any one of us, any of these people that we see doing this awesome analysis, they could pass away or anything could happen to them. You know what I mean? And the fact that they come out and give us this awesome, clear vision of the market, I just want to say he's a gem. You know what I mean? You don't get people like Forrest every single day. I gotta spotlight him right now. He's awesome, man. He's awesome.
You're a gem too, my friend, and we want your opinion. I want to ask you a question real quick. Bitcoin dominance 50%. Do you think it? So my question was months ago: will it ever again get to 50%? Now it's like, will it get to 50% this cycle? What are your thoughts? We're a little over 46% right now. Do you think altcoin season is around the corner? What are your thoughts? If you want to talk through it with a chart, if you just want to give your opinion, whatever you want to do, my friend, please go ahead.
Yeah, I probably will have to talk through it here on a chart action. So here's the deal, right? This green line is our main, heavy hitter area. I call it the big boy resistance, big girl resistance too, not to be sexist. It's just the big crypto exists, whatever, the big area. Resistance. And that is what my man said. It's 48.96, 49, not even 50, but it's the 48.5, 49 region. We could round to 50, right? Bitcoin came all the way back down. As everybody knows, we have alt season when Bitcoin dominance, let's go. What is Bitcoin dominance for anyone that's just jumping in or just never heard of it before? It's simple. Don't get too scared. It's how much market share Bitcoin has of the entire market. That's all. That's it. If there was 10 coins and Bitcoin, and the market was $100 and Bitcoin was worth $10, it would have 10% of the market share, right? Right now, Bitcoin has 47% of the market share. Of all the people in cryptocurrency, 47.63% of all the money is in Bitcoin, right? And I'm sure most people know that. We were talking about it, but you never know. People jump in. And we always want to cater to the beginner. I think that's important because I was a lost beginner at one point. So the idea is this: can we continue up and hit this high point? Now, when Bitcoin gets into a frenzy, just as Forrest said, and Bitcoin pumps to the upside, this is what confuses beginners. Bitcoin dominance goes up for two reasons. All right. And I'm going to kind of draw on the chart here. So let's say Bitcoin's this bucket, and it's kind of like a safety bucket in crypto, because when the market tanks hard, let's look, a lot of your altcoins will go down 90%. Bitcoin might go down 20, since Bitcoin dropped from 30,000, it really only went to 15,000. It really only went down 50%. But look at your alt bags. Some of them are down from $2 all the way to 10 cents. You know what I mean? So Bitcoin becomes like a kind of a savior when the market dumps. So when the market dumps really hard, Bitcoin dominance will tend to rise. This confuses beginners who first get in because they're like, wait, I thought Bitcoin dominance goes up when Bitcoin pumps. It does. So Bitcoin dominance pumps for two reasons. One, the market starts to dump. You have to remember, a lot of people trade BTC pairs. So as BTC pairs get stopped out, what happens? The persons get kicked out of their trades and they forcibly bought Bitcoin because they're in a BTC pair. So immediately people go back into Bitcoin, and then people get stopped out of their altcoins too. you'll see tether dominance might go up. And that's why what I like to do, which is kind of a split idea, is keep this screen split and have tether dominance on the side. Because once tether dominance, when I first started trading, there was really only Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. But now they entered tether so what you want to see is you want to juxtapose these, all right, on a daily time frame if you can. And why would you do that? Well, because they're inverse. And you want to see where the money's flowing. So this can also give us an idea of an alt season, and I'll tell you why, right? So I have a lot of work here. I'm actually going to delete it, which I don't mind because I can go back to it another time. And I'm going to take away the moving averages just for clarity. I want to see just the charts alone. So when you're looking at this on the daily time frame, and right now I'll make that invisible and get rid of the moving average there. So when you're looking at this alone, and really all I need is the stochastics RSI, this guy up here. So what I do is I compare these, and this is a momentum indicator. And so recently, Bitcoin's dominance was super low down here, right? And you can see this will match up. See, wherever I am on this chart, it'll match up. But tether dominance was super high. All right, very similar to this is very similar to what Forrest just did. I'm just juxtaposing a few other charts. Right now, you want to go back in time and you want to find this. Everything I do is through testimony, right, of the chart. Like I look back and see when was the last time we had a Bitcoin rally. Right, was when we were low here, and so you'll look at the charts and you'll see. Well, we were low here. Right there, we were low on stochastic, but if you look at the other chart, and you can put a blue line here and match it and hit there, and then if you match it here, look, we were super overbought in the stochastic. So, you'll get a pump in Bitcoin, but you'll get, you kind of had this downward sideways action in tether dominance. So when there's going to be a Bitcoin rally, what I'm looking for is Bitcoin dominance to drop and tether dominance to drop, right? Because where's the money going to go? Now that happens. So the money would have to flow into the altcoins, right? So what you want to do is we can make this really big, and this will take me some time, and I could look at it on the weekly, and then you can grab an altcoin on. Now you can now that you do this, you can slap this out on the weekly. And I'm giving away my special sauce here. I don't know why I do it, but
we love the sauce, baby.
I believe, hey, if you die tomorrow and you don't give your sauce away, then you didn't achieve your dreams, So here's the deal: you could slap on another altcoin. And you could basically backtest this and look at it and be like, when was the last time we lost dominance for Bitcoin and Tether, but the altcoin started to move, right? And lo and behold, you would kind of begin to get a bit of an answer when you were going to get alt season. So this will take me like probably 30 minutes, so I'm not going to do that, but I'll prepare it at another time and like I'll have it on the show or something like that. Cool. But that is a deep dive. A lot of the things I do, I sit and I think, how can I figure this out? And I say, well, every trade I make is based on probability, and every chart gives me probability. So where is the probability? And you'll find it. It's in there. You know what I mean? Now you can see tether dominance is continually going up too. You have to remember because tethers, they keep printing it, and more people keep trading in and out of it. So that's also going to make it grow. So there's other things you have to remember, right? And Bitcoin dominance is people trading less BTC pairs, it's saying, and people are trading more US Tether pair. It's kind of another idea that you could derive from this chart.
That's very intriguing, Lifer, because you hear people talk about ETH dominance, Bitcoin dominance, altcoin dominance, but rarely ever can I say someone's talked about Tether dominance. Rob,
I mean, that's essentially liquidity for the market, right? I mean, you want to get in and out of a token or a new project. I mean, you're piling in with Tether. Now, I know you have ACH transfers, but I mean, realistically, I would say majority of cash on the side is going to be held in a stablecoin. And, not to mention, we just printed $300 billion worth of dollars. We just injected $300 billion over the weekend. And that is dollar bills that is in the system. And you think these VC hedge funds and these big players are not moving that into speculative assets? All you need is just a small fraction. I mean, the crypto markets in an entirety is 1.1 trillion. And so, if you have a spillover of just a fraction of a percent, I mean, that is a massive inject of liquidity. And, with the market being down the way it is in crypto, it doesn't take much to move the needle. I do want to say you got a lot of your community members here, Lifer. So we love it when you're on the show because we get to meet some of your community members who are absolutely passionate and are on your side beating the drum. I do want to give a little shout out to the new people here. If you're new, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We have Sean Aaron, Lifer Friend, Group Pal, Herwig, Prehab, Combat Champs, In Due Time, Arubu, Rassi, Matt Stevens, Abominable Bearded Man Spaghetti Rigetti. We also have Pulse Trump Coin Rewards, Mac Attack, and Trader John V, and Matt Stevens, Jeremy Strofenifer, Andre Brown as well. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. Also, Broke Yoshi gifted a membership, and Bullish Kenny G has crossed the 10-month mark on membership here. And then also we got K Nick and Skinny Lock Kush is my cologne. To all of you, hola.
A lot of triple threes in
Also, guys, let's hit the like button, man. If you like the content, if you like the guests, if you like everything here. And then one last thing, I want to ask the chat their own thoughts on altcoin season. Do you think that now there's an interesting, I've been thinking that money or the uncertainty in the traditional markets has caused a panic in people's thoughts. Do they trust the government? Maybe they're looking at Bitcoin as a safe haven. Hey, maybe I get into Bitcoin. So is all, so I asked to the chat, is this resurgent liquidity, is this surge in interest, the surge in the Bitcoin price, is this just going to stay in that avenue? Are we on, or is this going to spill over to the alts? Let me know. Is altcoin season coming? Put a 1 in the chat if you think altcoin season is around the corner. Put a 2 in the chat if Bitcoin's going to the moon. I want to know where you guys lie.
Guys, I want to ask this question to both of you. And I see a lot of other YouTubers talk about this. I kind of thought it was so out there in outer space in a black hole somewhere that no one can see even with the highest telescope that I didn't want to talk about it. But I'm curious. There's this guy, Balaji, who put $1 million bet essentially, or a bet that Bitcoin would hit $1 million in 90 days. That's just, I can't, I'm a math guy and I'm a common sense guy, and both are telling me what you're talking about, Willis, which is one of the options on the poll. What would need to happen for Bitcoin to get to $1 million, and what the hell would that chart even look like? I'll start with you, Lifer. Is it even feasible at all?
I want to circle back. Your last question was, could it hit 50, right?
The dominance. Yeah.
Normally, I would say we're getting kind of close, but the gaps in the VRVP on the other side, and the fact that we could get a push into the 30,000 region, and I was doing the charts like a regular year, but then Robin came on and started thinking what Robin said, and I'm like, oh yeah, we just had banking collapse, and more people. I believe you're going to see people that have big money just realize it's just less risky to get into Bitcoin at this point. What a good time for Bitcoin to bottom out, right? What a good time for Bitcoin to get beaten down and be so low. So now when you look at it, what if Bitcoin was up at 65 and this was happening? People would be like, oh, it's been pumping for months. Right. But it got dumped and it had a bearish narrative at a perfect time, making it a risk, just look far less risky. You're like, well, it already went from 69 to 15,000. How much lower could it go? It can always go lower, but so it could go to 50, honestly, and it could even go higher based on that narrative. And we may have to wait a little bit for alt season. It's coming, but this just may delay it. But honestly, just like everything in life, the more it gets delayed, it's like bacon in the bread. It's like, bacon in the oven. It's just going to make it more explosive. Someone said in the comment section, June. I think he's kind of spot on. I think May into June, we're going to get that pump. And then we always get, for whatever reason, late August and September, there's always some type of massive alt dump. I don't know why, but I would probably expect to see that too. And then we run up from November into December. That's been kind of the cycle. Who knows?
And then who knows? By then, the Fed might be cutting interest rates and bringing.
Your second question was, or the actual question. I'm sorry, I just had to finish the first one.
No, that was good.
You were asking about, I'm open-minded. It's funny. Once I became truly, truly open-minded, I asked myself what that meant to be. It meant that anything could happen. That means everyone here in the chat, someone in this chat could become a billionaire. I'm not open-minded. It's that possible, right? We don't, maybe a few people, we don't know. Obviously the odds are against us when we look at the world, but I'm open-minded. So, there's a chance in my heart and soul. There's a chance even in my logical brain. What if some huge bank goes down that we never thought about? What if another one goes down? What if it turns into turmoil and you see entire governments? And what if people were just fighting each other to get it? I picture Bitcoin like this one day. Everyone thinks it's so easy, Bitcoin's kind of like, it's
I
like,
want to say one thing, man. I want to expand on being a millionaire.
Yeah.
To the viewer here, man. If you think that, if you look at being a millionaire as a dream and it's like, something that's unattainable, you're never going to attain it, man. And so if you want to be a millionaire, you need to have in your thought like, hey, I am a millionaire. I just haven't made it yet. You gotta have. If you think, hey, I got $50,000, I just need to figure out how I can like that. Stop it right there. Like if you want to be a millionaire, say, hey, I'm a millionaire. I just don't have it. It doesn't show up on my bank account yet. And you just got to make sure you're like, hey, I'm down. Like, what do I got to do to get back? I mean, that you got to change your mind frame. And also, I want to say with that bacon, leave that bacon in the oven, man. You don't eat no soggy bacon up in here, man. That's nasty.
You get that bacon on the beach, man. Oh my god! No, but I think it's possible we could hit the million. I love what he's saying too. I remember being broke as a joke, but believing that $1 million was waiting for me in a bank account. Like I just had to get to it. Like I just had to write myself and get myself situated on the right frequency, on the right energy. We live in a world of abundance. Everyone already has a pile of money, literally with their name on it. Like you just have to find your way to it. Like you just have to literally balance to the right frequency, and next thing you know, like, it'll come faster than you realize. It's pretty crazy. I sound like a charlatan, but it's true. Like, because it happened to me. Like, if you tap into the right energy, anything could happen. $1 million. I mean, I think it's highly unlikely, right? I don't know where he's coming out doing this. I don't know what he's doing.
Give me a percentage chance of it hitting $1 million.
I think he's looking for clout. I think he knows it ain't going to return. What is he doing?
See, that's my question. I like what Robin just said. My question is, what is his objective in this tweet? Because we all know it's highly unlikely. It's the same thing when McAfee said that he was going to eat his member, and you know what I mean. It never happened. Like, so God, R.I.P. John. I don't want to ever disrespect his name, but that narrative ran for so long. It never happened. We didn't hit. Right. So I say there's a 0.001% chance.
And then also, I do want to say that we slightly discussed Bitcoin dominance, and we were kind of going back and forth about the banking situation and banking collapse. I think that we watch the shows every day. We're in this space. We're looking at price action. Sometimes you gotta zoom out and have a narrative with yourself. You gotta say, what is happening right now? Because what is happening, we are gonna look back. This is gonna be a defining moment. The same defining moment that Satoshi had in 2008 when the financial collapse and the banking collapses and people were calling into question the monetary system, that same question that popped up then are coming up now. And that was a pivotal moment. That was the birth of Bitcoin. And lo and behold, now we are questioning everything again. You have the barbershop asking me like, hey, what is going on in the banking system? Is things going to be safe? What's going on with inflation? And so this is a pivotal moment. And people are questioning the status of their money. They're questioning the government. They're questioning the full faith of the dollar. And now there's an answer. It is Bitcoin. And that is why Bitcoin's price is moving. Is it sustained? Who knows? But what is happening is that people are leaving the banks and they're coming into crypto. And this isn't even the crypto degens. This is just your average everyday Joe. This is happening right now. I'm just hoping it escalates and it goes faster, because as these banks go down one by one, or they get bailed out one by one, and you see the effects of inflation, this is going to speed up. This is a pivotal moment. Look back at this moment and say, hey, remember when Credit Suisse went down? Remember when SVB went down? That's when people woke up. That's when people woke up. That I'm telling you, this week I'm beyond excited. Hit that like button if you're excited. Thank you.
You remember when Bank of America went down?
Yeah.
Not happening.
Why not?
All right, we're not going to get into that conversation. All right, Lifer, before we get into more charts, I want to, I know you know what's going on with the whole banking thing, and I want to talk about Credit Suisse here for a second. Okay. So here's a tweet. Here's the info on Credit Suisse, okay? So UBS agrees to buy Credit Suisse for more than $2 billion. Well, you might say, wow, that's a lot of money. No, it's not. No, it's not. Credit Suisse in 2007 was worth $90 billion. $90 billion. Now, if you remember, UBS's initial bid of $1 billion was denied. And so they're like, all right, cool, we'll double it to 2. And so this is from Fortune magazine. UBS has agreed to buy Credit Suisse after increasing its offer to more than $2 billion, with Swiss authorities poised to change the country's law to bypass a shareholder vote. Because if the shareholders got to vote, they would have voted hell no. Because they just got absolutely demolished. The Swiss National Bank also has agreed to offer a $100 billion line of liquidity to UBS as part of the deal. Now,
Crazy.
you think that's crazy? Here's a crazier part. Holders of $17 billion worth of Credit Suisse bonds were completely wiped out. A bank that was labeled too big to fail globally, where you can assume it's essentially risk-free, one of the largest banks in the entire world. If you're a bondholder, that's it, $17 billion wiped out. That is crazy. $17 billion of Credit Suisse bonds will have their investment wiped out following the bank's takeover by UBS in a surprise move that is expected to cost ructions. Never heard that word. You guys know what ructions mean? No. Lifer, have you ever heard that word, ructions?
Ructions? Yeah, I'm trying to see that. Just where's it written there? I'm trying to look there.
Ructions.
Historic deal between banks cause ructions. I mean, think about it. Eruption and construction.
Conjunction,
right?
junction. What's your function?
I mean, obviously, it means some type of some type of economic issue,
like a
that's going to
repercussion.
cause some issues. Yeah, cause ructions. In the debt
they're
markets.
expecting it to cause ripple effects. We're just going to use that word in European debt markets when they open on Monday. But several people involved in negotiating the deal said that wiping out the AT1 holders, which are the bond holders, would have wider
Ruction's
repercussions.
A noisy argument.
What's up?
It's a noisy argument. It's more of like a European, like it causes eruption in the bar over there, like. So,
Yeah,
it's a
but hey,
angry complaint. Yeah.
think about it. That's $17 billion of liquidity that has been completely wiped out of the markets. Because versus, hey, we're just going to sell these bonds, take a loss, and move that money elsewhere. Now that money's completely gone. That is a lot of money. 17. I know we've seen numbers so big like $2 trillion and $5 trillion, and our debt is $17 billion is a lot of money. And that money has evaporated from the traditional financial system. So what kind of effects is that going to have? Does that mean that people who own bonds in other large, too big to fail banks are going to start pulling that money out? What is that going to do? Like, guys, this banking crisis, it's not even the tip of the iceberg. It's the tip of the tip of the tip of the iceberg. This is just the beginning. This alone, this $17 billion alone, we're going to see bank runs. We're going to see sell-offs in the bond market. We're already seeing the sell-off. And here, it is just a perfect transition to this. Several major banks announced coordinated action to increase U.S. dollar liquidity provisions in the global market through swap lines. These include the U.S. Fed, the Bank of Canada, Bank of England, Bank of Japan, Swiss National Bank, and European Central Bank. Now, what does a credit liquidity swap mean? This is directly from the federalreserve.gov, okay? The swap lines are designed to improve liquidity conditions in dollar funding markets in the U.S. and abroad by providing foreign central banks with the capacity to deliver U.S. dollar funding to institutions in their jurisdictions during the time of market stress. So essentially, the U.S. government is going to offer dollars to other countries' central banks. So
Hey, why just print for the people here at home? Why not just print for the the banks here in the U.S.? Why not just
the
print
dollar
for
is the
everybody?
U.S. world reserve currency. It comes with benefits and it comes with cons.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is everything we're seeing now, you guys, this is worse than what was going on in 2008. This is absolutely worse. And is it a coincidence that this is happening right when CBDC is around the corner?
It's because what happened in 2008 wasn't remedied. So to fix, when the problems escalate even more, you have to put even more fuel on the fire. I mean, they're just digging themselves a bigger and bigger hole. And to get back to baseline, back to even, you either have to have a massive market correction or you got to dump a ton more money. And remember, how much purchasing power did you have in 2008? Think about it. How far could $1,000 go from your weekly paycheck in 2008 versus now? It's substantially worth less, right? And so to bail out the banks, you got to have more. We're not the only ones that are affected by inflation. So if your purchasing power is down, so is the government's purchasing power. $1 trillion stimulus doesn't go as far as $1 trillion back in 2008. $1 trillion back in 2008 saved the banking sector, right? Now, Jerome Powell spent that in a weekend. He spent that in a weekend. And so I don't know, man. It's this globe and the people that lost money, $17 billion, right? In bonds that got wiped out?
$17 billion.
So that is not a person. That is not a person. That is not even a group of individuals. That is not investors. That money, now there might be a couple in there, but that money is hedge funds. That is big companies with
that could
big
be other banks.
Hedges.
That could be other banks.
It's other banks. It's hedge funds. It's shadow banks. It's the list goes on and on. These mutual funds, that is not money from one guy sitting on his couch. Like, damn it. No, that is institutions that are gonna have to account for that loss. And that is going to spill over.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
On top of that, spilling over, like I mentioned, if Credit Suisse, if I can have bonds at Credit Suisse, Citibank, Citigroup, JP Morgan, Bank of America, national banks in France and who knows what it's going to cause. I want to real quick for Ask Lifer. We're having a bidding war here going on in our chat between Crypto Billy and Jimmy.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that
Crypto
funny?
Billy originally dropped a
making me laugh.
$49.99 super chat, and then Jimmy dropped 10 memberships,
20
memberships, and a $50 super chat. Said he couldn't let Billy show him up. And then Billy dropped a $1.99 super chat, said you're removed. And then Jimmy dropped a $2.57 super chat, said gonna make you do math, Billy. So
So
Getting heated
thank
in
you
there.
to you guys.
arms race between the chats.
It's an arms race. Lifer, what are your, and I'm going to keep it extremely general. What are your thoughts on this? What's going on in the banking sector? Do you think, is it coincidence that, and I'll show this, Lifer, because I don't think you were backstage when we show this. Bitcoin just had its third largest week ever, up 26.49% last week. And this all happened when banks were getting destroyed.
It is mooning, and also just to double down on that, you got the crypto fear and greed index at 66 right now. So
Damn.
booming last week, and the
It's a little
sentiment is roaring right now, bro.
You know what 66 is? It's 333 times 2 divided by.
Damn.
So, Lifer, I want to ask you, is this a Bitcoin pumping while the banks were crashing? Is this a testament to the narrative shifting in your opinion? What are your general thoughts? Just, I just want to get your opinion and share your knowledge with us.
No, I can only speak on what I know.
Please.
I always remember in 6th grade, I did a stock game. Like they literally 6th grade, and they asked us to pick stocks, and I remember going home and telling my dad, "Hey, we're gonna pick 6 stocks and follow them." And when they were first teaching us how to graph in 6th grade, so we were gonna, and I had to go through the paper. And I remember my dad was like, "Well, pick what you know. I mean, you wear jeans, like maybe Levi jeans, So I was like, "Oh, I wear Levi jeans," so I picked Levi. I said, I always look up at the planes and I go by the airport. I said, Boeing. Boeing, you know, I didn't know much about planes, but I was interested in planes. Whatever. The point of the story is you invest in what you know, right? So I was watching YouTube and Peter Schiff was telling me the housing crisis was going to collapse. This is kind of my life story in a way, but it wraps up into the answer to this question. Bitcoin's pumping hard right now too. I just want to make it clear. Everyone was talking about this M pattern, but I really had it in this symmetrical ascending triangle, and I was waiting for this bounce, and I've been long. I'm actually now up in the trade. This is interesting, but this is a nice pump, and you're low on the 1 hour. This actually may continue to pump here. Anyway, back to the regular scheduled program. But so the point of the story is Peter Schiff said we're going to have a housing crisis. We ended up having one. I thought he was pretty intelligent for that. He was one of the first people I saw online explaining what was going to happen on a macroeconomic scale, and it did. So I went and I started purchasing gold and silver. And then I realized, and I started researching the fiat currency market. I got into the continental dollar in the 1700. We printed it to zero. I saw the Roman coin and how they eventually kept changing the gold to another metal until they basically devalued the currency. And I looked at a lot of how great civilizations failed, and you could really connect it to the origin of their monetary policy becoming depleted due to inflation. And then I started looking at what was happening in America. And Peter Schiff was already telling me. So by 2011, I got bit by the bug in 2009. 2011, I was like starting to figure it out. And by 2012, I had a 3.5 year education on inflation. And I started running away from it. So I already believed that banks had fraction of reserve lending where they procreate funds. The Federal Reserve prints money out of thin air. They have no balance sheet. If me and you wrote a check, like recently, they just wrote a check, right? Like Robin just said, for $2 trillion. And I think they spent $300 billion this weekend. Yeah. Just, here's $3 billion. Like that, and no one asked, where does the money come from? People live in this imaginary world that the Federal Reserve is just like surrounded by a bunch of armed guards. And it's like, it has piles of money like Fort Knox or something, but it's a printing press and it's run by a group of private entities. And they literally print the money out of thin air and then make us pay for it. It's insane. Yeah. Like, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds like I'm telling you a lie. Then that's why it's so well done that anyone who figures it out and tells the masses sounds like a liar, so no one believes them. But this is actually what's happening. So in answer to your question, I mean, I've been waiting for this day my whole, not my whole life, but ever since I started getting into gold and silver. And then I found Bitcoin. And I realized, hey, you can't run around with bags of gold and silver with you and your family and food, but like you can always run around with a seed phrase. And and then once I realized that you could hold more value, and then I saw how much Bitcoin was, at one point, Bitcoin was less than an ounce of gold, and it's clearly now worth a lot more. So that's only going to continue to go up. I'm still a gold bug, and I love gold, but by all means, I mean, and gold was what got me into Bitcoin. That's another thing, Peter, if you're ever out there listening, you're the reason I buy Bitcoin. So I don't understand what your grip is. You made me understand what scarcity was. You made me understand why I should get gold and silver, and then I figured out Bitcoin. So like, you are the reason I started buying Bitcoin in a way, and I never understood why you're always like, I think he's just playing a game, but
I think he is too, because Peter Schiff is an extremely smart person. Love him or hate him, I know we give him crap, but dude is a smart guy. And if you were to replace his, every time he tweets or talks, gold with Bitcoin, I mean, it's the same thing. Obviously his kids and grandkids are crypto fans. He's not, but I like Lifer said. But I think that's such a important statement you made, Lifer, and you can't walk around like, okay, you want exposure to outside of the regular BS fiat monetary system we have, where you can't lug around gold, right? But you can't lug around a seed phrase, as you said. So I think that's very, very important.
And then I do want to ask the chat, we were going to take a look at some charts here. If there's any projects you want us to take a look at, drop those in the chat, and then we'll kind of pick a couple that we are interested in. And then also, we do have a lot of new people here, so just going to do a quick little intermission. Give some love to the chat. If you're new here, say hello so we can jump an hola back at you. We got Bart, Crypto, Told You So, George Mason, Just Lon, Lil Bert, Marty McFly, M. Musa. We got Herwig, Nick, Connor, Dean, XFed, Uncle Candle, San A, Zero Duckus, Board Typo, EF2 Bros, Panja. We also got Astro a little bit, Juan Quinn, Slugger, Board Typo, Magician, Robert Triana, Andrew Dobson, Jr. as well, and Crypto Billionaire. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Or Lifer, I want to ask you about Solana. So everything was going down, which by the way, Bitcoin is knocking on 28K again. But can you show us a chart on Solana? It's kind of going against the trend of negative. It's up a little over 2% over the last 24 hours at $22.78. We saw Solana take a big hit after FTX. The network went down again. And so what is the price action? What are the charts telling us, if you don't mind?
No, anytime, man. Thank you for asking. So taking a look at Solana. Now, technically, this is a falling wedge, right? You know, it can. I'm always in between sometimes. I got falling wedges, bear flags. But if the bear flag gives you a negative price action on, usually, it's like that's another thing I used to do. But anyway, so, and we have this shoulder, this head, and this right shoulder. If we take away all this other stuff and the moving averages, just for, you can see there's a shoulder. It's following the Bitcoin move, right? But you can see that it has this upper trend line to deal with. So it has that upper trend line, resistance, resistance, resistance. It's got to break back above that line. It also, how many times has the network shut down? Like 4 or 5 times now? And didn't it recently? Like not too recently, but about 3 weeks ago, I would say now, right? Something like that.
Yep, yeah, a few weeks ago.
Whatever. I know new projects have their issues, and it's so tainted right now. Like I personally don't even really want. Like I'm like I don't have the same fun feel I had for it before by any means. So I looked at it in this little flag. So I think someone asked me to go over it like a couple days ago, and I found this little flag, and it had a measured move with the base of this angle, and I was like, all right, nothing crazy. I was like, oh, maybe it can go up a little bit. The next resistance point was 26. And it seemed to kind of get shut down here. So what I look at is, let's see, you got some this is somewhat kind of called bearish divergence in a way, because you're moving up with price action, but you're flattening out on the RSI and you're getting overbought on the 4-hour area. And this is also considered a rising wedge. I'm going to get rid of this for now. My TA kind of moves until I settle it. I'm basically on an exploratory mission here. Yeah, so that's a rising wedge. That's going to break you down 68% of the time. So the idea is this, so you're still at the top of this trend. You're getting overbought with some resistance, and you're in a flag that can break down. So what you're looking for is if Bitcoin gets a nice pump, it should drag up most coins, like that. Most of the top 50 to 100 coins get dragged up. Not all the coins get dragged up, but the main ones, Matic, and they don't drag up. If Bitcoin gets a ferocious move, they won't get dragged up immediately. It'll be Bitcoin first, and you'll see them kind of rally an hour or two after. You'll have this aftershock. Other coins may struggle, and BTC pairs won't do so well. So you're looking for this to get up here, and then you're just looking for some type of like bullish pattern, or if it just goes a consolidative move. Otherwise, it's likely to come back down to the bottom of the pattern here at 15, maybe, or maybe double bought, maybe hit this low here at 18. I'm not that passionate about Solana anymore, so it's whatever. I should do TA on things no matter what. Like I'm open-minded to it, but like I don't see myself DCAing into it or adding a bag of it. And maybe it recovers and it becomes an amazing chain. We have to remember it still has a lot of NFT stuff going on. A lot of people still believe in it, but right now I'm seeing just some bearish tones. And then your 22-hour and your daily are both overbought too. This kind of resembles a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder there too. So I'm just seeing a lot of bearish tones. Doesn't mean a smaller time frame can't break us back above here. I'm open-minded to that, and that's what I'm saying. If you see some bullish consolidation and you stay above 24, there's a chance it could get through this gap in the VRVP. But right now, it's struggling at a resistance, and more likely that it comes down to 18, maybe even 15. Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Lifer. Some projects I also not a big fan of, but chart's a chart, right?
And has a major resistance at 26 too. Yeah.
What about
chart's a chart.
what's XRP telling you? I saw there's been some volatility in this. It is down, I think 4% on the 24-hour. Had a pretty big rally yesterday with Bitcoin, but had a pullback. It hit that 40-cent mark. I know that's been an area that it has not touched in quite some time. So is that 40-cent mark? Is that something you're looking out for? Because it seems like it's just this major zone of resistance going back, a few months, and just can't seem to stay above it. All right, what's XRP telling you?
You're always spot on, man. You know what I mean? So look, I mean, you edged up. I mean, here it is. I mean, you edged up here, right? It's 39 and 0.7%, right? Here you got above it a couple times. But look, how many times couldn't get above 40 cents? Here you got to like 38.5. Here you got above it to 41, but couldn't get, here you got to 39.5, 39 and a seventh. Here you kind of mess with it. There you couldn't get by it. Here you're at it. And here we're at again, we knocked on the door, on the 9th. We had a little issues with it in early February. So, yeah, I mean, this is an issue that we consistently, an area, 40 cents is just, we get back above it, it's like we can breathe, It's funny, people have been asking me about it, right? Is ISO 22 today or is it tomorrow? It's tomorrow, right? ISO 2 day, everyone's talking about. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but maybe it is.
We actually got a video on it. It's rallying pretty. It's one of our most successful videos. When is the ISO launching, David?
It's tomorrow, right? Isn't it tomorrow?
Today is the day in the UK and the US.
Today's the day, right? Today is it. Yeah.
Today's the day.
I mean, it was supposed to be, everyone was like, oh, like XRP is going to move and they're all going to go. And now someone tells me too that all the coins that we talk that are ISO aren't even compliant. Like some of them are. So even though we have this list of quant and all this stuff, like they may not, I don't know.
Here's the thing. Just because they're compliant and ISO's rolling out doesn't mean that
but I heard
the
they're not even
adoption is
compliant
there.
though. That's what I heard. I heard they're like not even Fed compliant though. Like the Fed won't even use them. Like, I don't know. This is what, like, I could be wrong though too. I could be spreading FUD.
You need the adoption, right? Just because something's compliant doesn't mean people are going to use it. You need people to use it. You need Visa, MasterCard, whatever the case may be. Now, if they wanted to, they can. That's the thing. That's the big thing. But are they going to? That's what's going to drive the price up.
Yeah. Was there a company, like, let's think. We got to ask someone. There must have been a company out there, Visa, MasterCard, and, we don't know what it was called. Like, Bank Card or BankSoft, Bank World. And it's gone now. Like, I wonder if there was one out there that tried to get there, but, they didn't get out there enough. Like, no one cared and they got pushed out,
Maybe.
So the thing about XRP is it's with tightness. I'm a pattern trader. I look for a pattern first and then I build around the pattern. So whenever I see price action's energy. I look at price action just like a person. If you back someone into a corner, right? You're either going to be able to slam them down further down into the corner and they're just going to, or they're going to try to burst out and like push their way out. So like you're cramming XRP into a corner. It had a nice range. It got bought and sold, bought and sold, bought and sold, bought and sold. It is tight. This is the VRVP. This is called the point of control. You're above it now. You're staying above it. There seems to be, for me personally, and I could be wrong, but when I smell the air for XRP, when I feel the sentiment, there seems to be an uplifting feeling about the case. Like there seems to be a less of a grip of the SEC, and maybe that changes for now. But it seems like if the SEC had their way, they would have had it by now. They did not expect the war chest that XRP is spending on this. And honestly, even just last week, it looks like Coinbase has now jumped in on this with XRP. I saw this recently, and like they could have been jumped in a long time ago. You got John Deaton. You have a lot of people that are like adding. I guess you can add like you can add outside extraneous legal help. There's just been an outpour from the community of all legal. Even Hester Pierce, the commissioner of the SEC, seems to be always damning the SEC herself, which is weird. So that's giving me that feeling, right? More and more people know what ISO 222 is too. So that's kind of gaining steam. So there's a feeling for XRP, which I feel like could get a move on. I like the 3-day chart. It's a chart a lot of people don't look at. I've been recently using it a lot to time out the idea that price action can pump up to this 200 SMA. This is my little special sauce. Moving averages get tight. You get a 200 SMA on the top. You're likely to pump up to it. So I would be watching the 3-day chart really for the next month and a half. And this could slowly, it's going to take its time, but this says we could slowly get up to 61 cents, 62 cents. If you think about it, who's selling XRP at this point? Like it's been fudded to death, right? Like what other coin has been through the ringer like XRP? I own 10,000. I'm not selling it. Like why? What's the point? And I believe the people that hold it at this point are so spiteful about the coin, like they'll hold it to zero. Like they just don't care. Like they'd rather die with their XRP than let the SEC like make them sell their own coin. So I think there's such a strong unity of people. That's your second higher low in the first time in a long time. Look, downtrend, finally kind of got up here. Now you have a low, higher high, higher low. Can you put in a higher high? You got to get a daily candle to close above 44 cents. But, Now, if it doesn't and it goes wrong, we do have a measured move to 16 cents, and it could go lower, right? What if something bad happens in the case? So this is called the symmetrical triangle. By the book, it's bilateral, and 50% of the time it goes down, and 50% of the time it goes up. Most of the time in my life, it has been a down moving pattern, but there's some other things around XRP, and this 3-day chart looks nice to me. So, only time will tell. It's getting tight. If I had to make a call on it and like put my sauce on it, the 4-hour looks good. The daily looks like it may have to kind of reset a little bit. The safest way to play XRP is to wait for it to get above 40 cents and make some type of falling wedge, bullish pattern, because that's the safe area. That lets you know it got above a major resistance point.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Lifer.
Yeah, I think you echoed a lot of community.
Once I go, I just start going. I'm sorry. I just can't.
No,
you
no,
good,
that's
man.
good.
That's priceless.
All
Community, I think you nailed it on the head. People just don't care about price action. They're gonna hodl that thing in. It just shows you the power of the community. I mean,
Dude, the
there's
XRP
only a
community
handful of
is-
projects. Bitcoin obviously comes to mind. People are like, I don't care. Well, you can ban it or whatever. Or miners can have to shut down. I'm not selling my Bitcoin, and there's a lot of similar mentalities when it goes to XRP. And I think as these communities grow and these chains grow, the ones that have been around for a while get that kind of Cardano people are very similar too, man.
Yeah.
They're real hard hitting, like your boy.
So is a lot of Hedera people. I think.
Mm.
Anyways,
I've
Lifer,
been holding
we want to
Cardano
thank
since
you.
2 cents, so I'm not selling it. You know what I mean? It's just like it's not going to sell it. Like
We're not leaving. We're not selling. We're not
we're not
selling.
going.
That
Alex
was a
Becker, you
great
can
movie,
make fun of
by
me
the
all you
way.
want.
Yeah. Lifer, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go, my friend, is there anything else you would like to note or tell our community? And also, if you're not subscribed to Crypto Lifer on YouTube, we have dropped the link to that YouTube channel in the description of this video, so make sure to go subscribe. Lifer, anything you'd like to leave us with?
Yeah, with all the ups and downs and coming and goings, take a deep breath and remember FOMO is a piece of fear. Fear, fake emotions acting real. FOMO is fear of missing out, right? Anytime someone hits a gain, you're in a trading group and you see they had 200% on a 10x leverage or 50x leverage, and you're like, and then you go trade leverage even though you're not that experienced, and then you lose money. You're going to feel vexed by this market to want to do things. For instance, I had Bitcoin sitting on a hardware wallet, and I had friends and other people I knew getting money on Celsius. And a few times I was like, man, I'll just put 100 grand in there and make 20 grand a year. Like, whatever, why not? And I was close to doing it, but every time I went to press the button, I would say, but what if I couldn't get the money back? So you guys gave me a moment to talk, and the reason I'm going to use this moment is to talk about a hardware wallet. Number one, Keystone sent this to me. I don't have an affiliate link yet, so I probably even shouldn't talk about it. But it's not really about me and making money off the product. It's just about the idea that a hardware wallet is so key. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that were making way more money than me on Celsius, and they don't have a dime now. You know what I mean? So at the time, it looked like they were beating me, but who was the wiser? You know what I mean? The person that had the actual money in their hand. So they always say a bird in hand is much better than any number free to fly, right? So it's like, here's the idea, man. Get yourself a hardware wallet, please. I have a link to Trezors. Maybe Sin City has a link to a hardware wallet. Get yourself a hardware wallet. Yeah. So get down there, help out this channel. And let's get them to 10,000. Subscribe to this channel, man. Let's keep it moving. They have an amazing cast and group of people that are working every day. Their show is so well organized. Like today, the topics were spot on. I learned a lot today just sitting here. We went into the credit swaps, and they broke you behind the scenes of the Fed. This is a show that's not just going to sit there and yap. This is a show that's going to educate you. You're going to be able to talk to your friend who's a lawyer. Maybe one of your uncle or someone who's an economist or someone. You're actually going to be able to know what you're talking about if you head over to Sin City Crypto every day. So I'm blessed to be here. You guys are family ever since the meeting in Vegas. So it's been amazing. What a run. And yeah, get yourself a hardware wallet. Don't believe that your funds are safe if you're not the one that's taking control of your life.
That's the whole point of Bitcoin mooning when the banks are down, right?
28K.
We're not letting banks hold our money. We're not letting Coinbase hold our money. I was watching a short video from another content creator, and they broke it down very simple. Think about it. A centralized exchange is meant to use to exchange your tokens, and a hardware wallet. What does a wallet do? It holds your money. So think about it that way. You shouldn't hold your money on an exchange. You should exchange, and you shouldn't exchange in your home. Blah, blah. No. Anyways, Lifer, thank you so much for your kind words.
You know?
Yeah, unless you're going to exchange your Bitcoin for bankruptcy proceedings. Anyways, Lifer, thank you so much for those kind words. We love having you on. Please, we want to bring you on more often. We enjoy your analysis, and we just enjoy you in general. So, guys, if you're not subscribed to Crypto Lifer, please go ahead and do so. Support the guests that join our show. That link is in the description of this video. And until next time, my friend, have an amazing day.
Like my Thai massage every 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
You know, massage sounds really good right now, dude.
Dude, she gets on these things with her feet, and like she steps on my back and like cracks my. Oh my gosh! Like there's bars on the ceiling. That's how they do it. It's awesome.
I'm just curious, when you're doing that, do you have a chart in front of you? Or you
Such an idiot.
got like an iPad like standing
I
up?
know. My head's in that like circle. You know, that's the one time I literally like. It's like I just literally like, you know, you have doing what I do every single day. You got to just everyone's like, you don't take a day off, you're gonna burn out. But I do take an hour or two, like, and I have to just completely tune out. You know.
Yeah.
And I set my alerts for
you have
Bitcoin.
to,
I go over my alerts, and then I don't do it enough, but that's why I like the massage in the shooting range. You know, I go to the shooting range because everyone has to have the headphones on. I don't hear anyone. You know what I mean? And I'm so like I want to put in. I'm in there for 2.5 hours. I don't move my mouth. It's amazing. And I come out, I'm like a different person. I feel like I've just
Dude, I was at a shooting range one time, and this idiot had rented a 50 caliber, and then the morons over there, like, one hand on the gun and shoots it, and that thing had so much kickback. He flew back to the thing, and they kicked him out. They kicked him out. But anyways, thank you so much, my friend. We'll see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you.
Robin, I love you, man.
What about me, bro? You don't love me? That's messed
I love
up,
you
bro.
too, Dave. No, but me and you were
Damn,
talking.
that's messed up, bro.
He's like a little toddler.
Like we were in a room together.
You know, he's
I love
like,
you, Dave. I
you
love
know,
you both,
he's like a
guys.
little toddler. He's like, I want candy too.
Yeah, I do want candy. It's not fair. How come he gets candy and I don't?
love you guys.
Oh my God, it's gonna take me 2 hours.
God bless you both. Have a wonderful
man.
day.
I will say
And
Kyler
keep
with
doing what
the
you're doing,
other
man. Don't
meter.
stop. Don't stop.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Take care.
Take care.
All right. Do get a little shout out to the chat. If you're new here, say hello so we can jump in a lot back at you. We got Bart H up in here, Crypto Newbie, Andrew Dobson, Balling on a Budget, Crypto Mark Coco. We got Arasol, Thomas S, Theo Rodriguez, Nick Zulu, Matt Stevens, Alexandra Miranda, and Cryptemic Me Love. Also, we also have Locochi. Oh, yeah. We gave you a shout out earlier. All right. Well, to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
10 days ago. So I keep getting I keep seeing stuff in the chat. FRC, which is First Republic Bank. And I'm looking at their chart, and damn, dude, this thing was at how much was that? $80 10 days ago. And it's at $13. On March 8th, it was at $117 and it's at $13. The banking collapse isn't over. And here's an article from Watcher Guru. 186 banks found to have similar risks as Silicon Valley Bank, which is the one that went under, of course. A recent study by economists identified 186 banks at risk. These banks face issues similar to that which caused the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. Now we know with Silicon Valley Bank, the FDIC came in, they tried to sell it, and they insured everyone's deposits to try to stop the bleeding. But their findings suggest a potential problem. If half of these uninsured depositors, which is any account holding over $250,000, were to withdraw funds rapidly from any of these 186 banks, even insured depositors might face impairments. This is due to insufficient assets available for all depositors. Well, that's what happens when you drop the reserve ratio down to 0% and keep it there for 4 years, for 3 years. There you go. In My Hero said it just pulled half my funds out of my bank this morning. Look, if you have under 250K, you're fine. FDIC, they got a crap load of money. They will insure those. If the FDIC doesn't insure anything under 250K, then the entire U.S. government is done. So that will never happen as long as the U.S. government is functioning. But anything over that, I mean, I'm not trying to tell people to go start a bank run, but just diversify your risks in banks. Never thought we'd have to say that, right? But do you think this number is correct? Do you think there's more? There has to be more, right?
That's just what. That's just the
report.
yeah. That's just a report there. I mean, how many banks are operating underwater or in the red or have potential liability that people aren't even seeing? Right. This is what's advertised. This is what's transparent and people can easily identify. Think about how many banks globally are not as easy to identify. I'm telling you, man, we're in a very historic part of the global economy, man. Not a US economy, global economy. Like this is very pivotal. So all the decisions that the Fed decides to make, the US government, the IMF, the EU, as these governments make decisions, what's going to transpire in the next 6 months is going to fundamentally change the course of all of our lives in finance. There was a giant lull between 2009 or 2010 all the way up till 2020. There was not much going on. You know, you had an average of 2% inflation. You had interest rates kind of where they were. It was easy money getting injected out into the system. You know, there was a lot of borrowing, a lot of economic prosperity. But also what was happening is that companies were taking loans and leveraging that and adding more risk to the system. And now people are getting margin called. Banks are getting drawn on as far as assets of their users. So, yeah, man, we're going to find out a lot about ourselves here very soon. And I will say that being in crypto, we are in the right spot, right? I mean, think about it. And this is the one safe haven from political turmoil. Maybe some things break on the markets that could bring down the price short term, but long term, privatization of money and the removal of politics from your money and your hard-earned money is, yeah. What you got, David?
Nothing. Just
Brokey Oshi gave 10 memberships.
Memberships. That's right. Guys, if it's your first time here, first and foremost, welcome. Drop a hello. We'd love to personally welcome you. Also, make sure to subscribe and ping notification bell. And so, yeah. It's scary, but it's only scary if you're ignorant to the fact that what are the possibilities of what can happen, and if you're not preparing yourself for the worst case scenario. And the best way you can prepare yourself for a complete banking collapse is to have money in an asset. And if you're too scared about Bitcoin and you're just here to learn, fine, buy some gold, buy some precious metals, right? Something that is globally accepted, that's not tied to a government, and that is scarce, and that can't be inflated or deflated.
And even if the banking sector doesn't collapse or go under or get stress tested to a point where, you know, some of it breaks, even if that doesn't happen, you will see an extreme amount of printing to prevent that from happening, as it's happening right now. Printing is already happening. And you're going to lose purchasing power. You think it was bad in 2020 to now?
Yeah.
You think that was bad? You think from what happened in 2020 was bad?
We might be talking about hyperinflation here soon.
Oh, I mean, you know, Argentina 100% inflation this year.
Venezuela.
And you don't. We might not see 100% because we're the world reserve currency. So usually we're going to have, you know, mitigated inflation. But I think we can get into double digits again. or we didn't quite get there. We got a 9.1, but here's the thing: if you stay at, let's just say theoretically, let's just say for the next 4 years we stay above 5%. Holy crap, man! The next 4 years, if we stay over 5% inflation, which is, I think
that's a fifth of your purchasing power gone in 4 years. That's absurd. That is absurd.
Yeah, and salary and wages are not keeping up with inflation. So they
say wages are going up, but you want to take a look at real wages, not the BS, the real wages. But either way, educate yourself. Watch channels like ours. Find some other channels that you enjoy watching that you can get good information from. Always corroborate everything, and then hedge your risk. Whether it's risk to the banks, whether it's risk to whatever it is, hedge your risk. Put yourself in a good position. But I'm telling you, it's not a coincidence that Bitcoin had the third best week ever in the midst of banking collapses. That is literally what Bitcoin was born out of. With that being said, you guys, we are done for today. Huge shout out to Crypto Lifer for joining us. Robin, is there any last minute chat shout outs you want to give?
I do want to say Wes Salazar says, open up the club. The new club limit is 300.
And 50.
So, no, just 300. When we get to 300, we'll open up the club. We didn't quite get there today, but I believe tomorrow we will. Also, we got Rod, Casey, and SDP up in here. So, hola!
Why doesn't Lifer love me?
Why do you act like such a baby? You didn't say that to me.
I'm kidding. Guys, go check out our social media. Follow us on Twitter at SinCityCrypto1. We're also on Instagram, TikTok, and all the other places. Go join our community ran Discord. The link to that. Also, go buy some merch. Don't be cheap. Sin City merch, Bitcoin merch, crypto merch, XRP merch, whatever merch you want. If you have a lady or a lady friend, buy her some leggings, sports bras, a lot of things. If you're a whale member, you get 10% off. Also, go check out the last video we did. If you want to know more about ISO 200022 and what it means and which cryptocurrencies, go check that out. With that being said, guys, Rocco.
Yep.
Yes, I will be doing a stream tonight at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure to come join me. We'll be looking at fundamentals and technical analysis. Hopefully, I can do better than Robin did last week. Of course, I'm going to do better. Anyways, all jokes aside, thanks to Rob for filling in last week. I will be back this week, guys. Thank you guys so much. We're having myself, Robert, Rocco, and Kyler. We love you. See you tomorrow. We have Mance Harmon from Hedera joining us tomorrow. You do not want to miss it. Tell all your Hedera friends. Mance Harmon's joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Rob, I love you.
Thanks.
Rocco, this is for you.